Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the In the Ring Show with your host, Devious Damien. Now, I'm going to be talking about a variety of topics today, so I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. But, I'm going to go back a little over a week ago and talk about the TNA Bound for Glory pay-per-view. A rather solid pay-per-view, not bad. James Storm winning, predictable. Jeff Hardy winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, predictable. Samoa Joe retaining the TV title, predictable. One of my chief complaints about the thing was, well, actually I had a couple. One was, why did they choose to feature the Knockouts title match above the James Storm and Robert Roode street fight? Made no sense to me. That should have been like one of the main events. That should have been like near the end of the show, not like somewhere in the middle of it. That made no sense to me whatsoever. And the other thing, I think they kind of dropped the ball with having Devon be a member of Aces and Eights. Not because I'm against Devon as a wrestler, mind you, but I just think, you kind of built it up, and then Devon. It just, to me, you kind of let the air out of the balloon a little bit with that. The Austin Aries Jeff Hardy match. While it was a good match, I didn't understand the logic of how easily Jeff Hardy won. Because when Austin Aries was fighting Bobby Roode, he could get hit with chairs, he could get hit with beer bottles, he could get hit with the championship belt, and wouldn't get pinned. But yet, a couple twists of fates and a swanton bomb and he gets pinned now. Can somebody explain to me how when you're a babyface you're almost invincible and you can't get beat for nothing, but then you turn heel and it's just like all that grit, all that toughness just goes away? Can somebody explain to me how that works? Because it makes zero sense to me. I just don't get that. I'm not going to review the entire Bound for Glory pay-per-view. There's probably tons of reviews already. Just throwing a quick little tidbit out there about it. The next thing I want to talk about, and this was a few weeks ago, but I want to talk about it because it's something that I've been thinking about ever since I saw it and heard about it. Batista's MMA debut. Excuse me. Okay. Now, his debut was lackluster at best. Batista, stick to pro wrestling. Okay? Your MMA fight sucked. You have no business being in the sport. Yes, you won the fight. Barely. Because judging from what I saw of your opponent, he didn't appear to be very skilled himself. So, considering that you could barely beat an opponent that didn't seem to be very skilled at all, what would have happened if you stepped in there with somebody who actually had some skill? You get your ass handed to you. Batista, get out of MMA now. I know it was your first fight, but even so, your stand-up was horrible. Your ground game wasn't even that good. And unless you can find some way to vastly improve in your next fight, you need to just stop. Excuse me. Now, talking about Monday Night Raw the past couple weeks, but I'm more particularly going to talk about the whole Ryback and Punk situation. Now, with Ryback and Punk, WWE has kind of put themselves in an awkward position here, and I'll tell you why. If you have Ryback go over, then you have wrestling fans, who are going to complain because they're going to say Ryback has no business being the champion at this stage in his career, blah, 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 blah. CM Punk was a much better wrestler, blah, 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 whatever. But then you have, on the other hand, the WWE has put so much stock into Ryback. So if you have Ryback lose, now you're kind of taking the steam out of the whole thing. The only way the WWE can kind of have Ryback lose to save face here is to have Brock Lesnar interfere on behalf of Punk's behalf and cost Ryback the match. That's the only thing I can think of to have Ryback lose where it doesn't totally kill any momentum he's had. And, you know, I gotta talk about this. This past Monday's Raw. Is it just me, or did they kind of treat the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view as an afterthought? I mean, they really didn't promote the show that much at all throughout the show. They were more focused on doing other shit. And, you know, for a pay-per-view called Hell in a Cell, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think only one match is actually taking place in the cell, and that's Punk and Ryback. I don't think Shawn and Sheamus is, and if it is and I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me on that, but from all what I've seen, I don't believe it's taking place inside the cell. Which, you know, you give your pay-per-view a gimmick name like that, to have one fucking match inside the goddamn cell? Horse shit is what that is. And speaking of this past Monday's Raw, of all the matches that took place, for my money, only one was actually even worth watching. Only one that I actually want to sit there and watch the entire thing happen, and that was Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler. Great match, stole the show, was fucking phenomenal. But then, in classic WWE fashion, lately their logic with their shows has been kind of messed up. Okay, so AJ Lee is fired because she had a business dinner with John Cena. Excuse me. You know, a little bit of cotton mouth, so I have to take a drink. Anyway, so, excuse me. So, okay, so she gets fired for having a business dinner. And who gets put in her position? Vicky Guerrero, who, correct me if I'm wrong, to my knowledge, still represents Dolph Ziggler. That's not a conflict of interest. And how many affairs has Vicky carried on with over the years with multiple different superstars? You know, when she was in a position as general manager, I mean, am I the only one who sees so many holes in this storyline that it's beyond pathetic at this point? I mean, how can you... The WWE is, like, not consistent at all, and it's really beginning to get annoying. So, I really don't know what to say. I don't know. But, anyway... you know, and I read the SmackDown spoilers. I'm not going to reveal them for you people who actually want to watch the show. I will tell you my opinion from reading the spoilers. I didn't think the show was worth watching. It seems like the WWE doesn't even try with SmackDown anymore. It doesn't seem to take it seriously. It just seems to just, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, you know, that's just my opinion. Excuse me. And before I close out this video, there's been a topic I've been meaning to talk about for quite a while now. It is something that's stuck into my mind for a while. I've been seriously wondering I've been watching some videos on YouTube for the past couple months now. And if I didn't think there was any truth to any of these videos, I wouldn't have given them time of day. However, the YouTuber, his name escapes me right now, but he was talking about how he thinks Chris Benoit could possibly be innocent of killing his wife and child, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe there's some truth to that. Because, okay, let's think about this for a minute. Before anything was released to the media, it was on Wikipedia how, at the very least, I think it was Nancy who was dead, Chris's wife. And then all of a sudden, you know, when the guy gets called to attack, it was just a coincidence. Bullshit, that was not a coincidence. And where did this Wikipedia post come from? Stamford, Connecticut, the headquarters of the WWE. Furthermore, it's also being reported that just hours before I can't remember if it was hours before Chris himself had died, or if it was before the kids had even been killed. I'm not sure. But at any rate, at some point during this whole thing going on, Chris had sent strange text messages and, just sending his address, almost randomly to a couple people. I think Johnny Ace was one of them. John Laurinaitis got one, and Road Warrior Animal talked about it. Now, tell me something. If I got your cell phone number, right, and just out of the clear blue sky, I'm texting you my address, aren't you going to be, okay, what's going on? Why is he just out of the clear blue sky texting me his address? If that were me, and if one of my friends randomly sent me their address for what seemed to be no apparent reason whatsoever, I'm going to be making it my business to find out what the fuck just happened. I mean, seriously, like, did it occur to anybody that maybe, just maybe, this was a call for help? Maybe he was trying to get somebody to send somebody, to his house? And I know some of you were going to say, well, the police combed the area and, they've already made their findings and that's it. Yeah, right, okay, like the police in this country have never made mistakes. Now, I'm not saying the police necessarily did make a mistake, but I'm saying you can't rule out the possibility that they could have. Because let's face it, people, there are innocent people sitting in jail cells right now that got convicted of crimes they did not commit. It has happened. It does happen. And then there are people who, get off the hook for crimes that, quite frankly, a lot of people feel they did commit. O.J. Simpson. Anyway, let's face it. A lot of people think O.J. did it. And for if there's any black people watching this right now, I don't think O.J. is guilty because he's black. It has nothing to do with it. Even if O.J. Simpson were as white as I am, I'd still think the motherfucker was guilty. Plain and simple. Because honestly, I'm not a racist person, okay? I don't look at a black person and try to be like, oh, he's black, he's guilty. Or, oh, he's white, he's got to be innocent. No, I don't do that, okay? I look at the facts, I look at what appears to be the truth, and I make my opinion based upon that. And from what I could tell, it seemed to me O.J. Simpson was guilty. I believe he was, and I believe he got away with murder. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. And it's just the truth. And I seriously wonder if the Atlanta police got the situation with Chris Benoit wrong. I seriously wonder if, things, they didn't look at things closely enough. I seriously wonder if, other things didn't get looked into as much as they should have. That's just a question I've always kind of had. Just some food for thought there. I guess... Okay, I guess I really didn't have as much to talk about as I thought I did. I apologize for that. But anyway, what are your thoughts about the past couple weeks on Raw? What was your thoughts about Bound for Glory? Your predictions for Hell in a Cell? Anything you want to talk about? And once again, I will take video suggestions. If there is something you want to see me talk about, drop a comment, drop an inbox, whatever. Give me the video suggestion, and if I need to, I'll do a little research into the topic that you want me to discuss, and then I'll go ahead and discuss it. So yeah, feel free to comment, video suggestion, whatever. For this edition of the In the Ring Show, this is your host, Devious Damien, signing out. Good night, everybody.